Hello everyone, this is Islamiat Adeshala Mo, and we are on Adeshala Bell's platform where we travel, we talk about travel, culture, entertainment and law. Today I would like us to look at how you can apply for your medical trip to the US. Now what do I mean by medical trip to the US? For maybe you have someone that is sick or someone that needs a kind of medical management that needs to be in the US. Now, for you to obtain this kind of visa, there are certain things that you need to prove. And go along with me in this video. I'll let you know how you can schedule your US visa trip. A medical visa to the US is a non-immigrant visa. And for you to get the non-immigrant visa, you have to apply using the DS-160 form. So if you want to apply for a medical trip to the US, you need to fill the DS-160 form. Look at the link below. You see a video where I talk about how to apply for your non-immigrant visa. Now, how do you fill this non-immigrant visa for medical trip to the US? It's just so simple. It's just like if you're filling your normal DS-160 form. Anywhere you see B1, B2 tourism, do not click on that. Click on medical tourism. But where you are being asked the reason why you're traveling, it has to be a medical reason, depending on the nature of that person's sickness. Now, where you have, if the person is traveling with someone, definitely the person must have someone that will be accompanying the person. If you are the person that is accompanying the person, you state that you are accompanying so and so, and every other information. It doesn't have to actually be the person's relation. It may be someone that's, it may just be a friend. The person may just be a friend, or it could be anyone, but at least one person to accompany the person that is sick abroad. The place you are visiting or your contact person in the US, if you don't have a family in the US, all you have is the hospital where you are going to. Your hospital will be the place. And like I always say, anything you want to do, always do your research before time. Now, if you've been communicating, I'll tell you what you need to do and how you need to go about it. You must have been communicating with someone at the hospital. You put the person's name, the doctor or whoever you're communicating with, put the person's name there. You put the organization, the name of the hospital and the address. You get all that. You put them where you have to put in that information. Now, aside from you filling your DS-160 form, making a payment, scheduling an interview date, what are the things that the person needs to prove to get this visa? One, the doctor that is treating the person in the person's home country must be able to prove that the person has been sick. That kind of sickness cannot be properly managed or cannot be properly treated in the person's home country. For instance, it may be that there is no enough medical facilities to take care of that person. It may be that there is no doctor that is well knowledgeable in that field to take care of that person. It may be that the person needs drugs and adequate attention that the person's home country cannot be able to deal with. No, so for this reason, the person is traveling. The medical report and everything has to be there, and the doctor that is treating the person has to write a note, and it has to be a reputable hospital, you know. Then aside from that, you will then look for a hospital in the US that is able to take that person. Talk to them, send them mail, they will reply. If you send them mail within 3 days, 3 days is even too long, a day or two, within 24 hours, you see that they will reply to you. Tell them all about the person's sickness. Sometimes you may have to send the medical record of that person, and you show an intention that you want to bring the person to the US for treatment. The hospital must then do a letter stating that they have communicated with so and so person, and they have facilities to be able to take the person, and they are ready to take the person, and this is an estimated amount that will be able to treat the person. They may not be able to talk about an estimated period of time for which the person may be treated, because sometimes, for instance, if it's surgery, they may want the person to still be coming for checkup and make sure that the person is okay, there are no complications before the person gets back to the person's country. So the doctor in the US must also be able to prove that. For you to get a doctor in the US, it's so simple. You can do your research online. But if you are unable to do that, if you need help, you can comment in the comment section below. Let me know and I'll do the research for you. You get an hospital that can take the person. You make all formal arrangements with them. Even if you have the money, you may even do a part payment before coming. That's a commitment on your side, and that will show that to the embassy, to the embassy or consular office that, oh, this is a serious case, and that you are able to afford to take care of the person in the US. Now, aside from the letter from these two doctors and the report, you must also show that you have finance. You have the money to be able to take care of that person, the money to be able to pay for that person's medical expenses. Even if you don't have, let's assume that it's going to cost like 15 million. If you don't have that money, if you don't have that 15 million cash at that time, if what you have is 5 million, part of it, you must be able to prove that this is where I intend to get the money to pay for the rest, and the money will be available to pay for the rest before the person is discharged. So there must be an ability, willingness to pay for the person's medical expenses. That you will need your statement of accounts. If you say the money is available, if the money is not physically available, how do you intend to pay? There must be a way that you intend to pay for that. Now, remember, aside from the sick person, the person that is accompanying the sick person must also prove that the person will be able to pay for the person's accommodation, feeding, and other expenses abroad. Except anyway, the person have maybe a friend, siblings, or anyone in the US that can do a letter stating that I will accommodate, feed, and support this person for the period of time that this person will be accompanying daddy or whoever to the US. So if you are able to get these 3 documents, letter from the doctor, from the home country with the report of the nature of the person's sickness. We are not talking about sickness like malaria here. We are talking about real sickness that cannot be treated in the person's home country. Okay, for instance, sickness like pregnancy. Some people may say pregnancy is not a disease, but if it's something that has to do with if the pregnancy has to do with a lot of complications and the person has history that has to do with a lot of complications in the past and present, that can also fit into what we are talking, the kind of sickness that we are talking about. Is it the person coming for surgery? Is the person coming for, is it cardiological issues? Is it neurological issues? It depends. It depends the communication between the doctor in the home country and the doctor in the United States that doubts it. For medicals, they don't normally doubt it. So all other documents that you need to add to these 3 documents that I've talked about are every other document that we talk about in the in how to apply for your non-immigrant visa. Your passport, that's your international passport, recent photographs, confirmation page of your appointment, confirmation page of your DS-160 form submission, and every other relevant document, your statement of accounts, if you are paying from pocket or whichever way you're paying from, wherever you're paying from, you must be able to show that you'll be able to afford it, because they don't expect you to take the sick person to the US to be treated in the US for free. Except, anyway, there's some people that normally travel to the US from time to time, and that person have an insurance. If it works that way, if that person has an insurance over there, and you're able, whichever way that person is going to, the person's treatment is going to be paid for, it has to be proved. And so that's how you can get your medical visa to travel to the US. And that you can get at any time. You don't have to wait. You don't have to be on the queue. Not for all the long dates that we're having now. It's that qualifies for an emergency visa. The person qualifies for, the person that is sick and the person that is accompanying the sick person qualifies for an emergency visa. So if you know anybody that is sick and that the person can be able to afford treatment in the US, definitely the person can get an early date to come to the US for treatment with anyone that is able to take care of the person. All right, guys, that is it. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell, share our videos to those that may be interested in this content, like, and if you have questions, put them in the comment section below. Thank you, guys.